Justice Warriors. Hello, how are you guys? Hi. Thanks for joining me. And let's see, it is Tuesday night, November 1st. No news, right? My grandmother used to always say no news is good news. No news on the Kiely Rodni case. I wouldn't necessarily take that as good news. Anyway, so my voice is kind of shot from staying up so late last night, and I'm really tired today. So I think I'm going to be pretty short with this. And, I'm trying to learn the art of being a little bit more concise and to the point. Is that good? Let's see, just a tiny smidge. There we go. Okay. So, got a whole bunch of great ideas to share with you, and thank you for joining me. No surprise. Hey, lovely lady. Oh, you're saying no surprise of being up so late last night. Hey, Pixie Knickers. Hey, you guys. Thank you so much for coming on over. So it was hard for me to start, especially because Harsh was doing a live, and I really respect Harsh, and I was really happy that I caught a good amount of his live. I would have waited until it was over before starting mine, but I thought I just got to get this done so I can get to sleep. Because I only got a couple hours of sleep last night, probably 3, 4, and I haven't had a nap. Almost, almost fell asleep a couple of times. Anyway, I feel like I have a lot of good notes from just reflecting on that packed day from yesterday. Have you guys heard about Gabby Petito's case? A little bit of news there. But first, let me say that everything I say is my opinion only. It's purely for the sake of speculation and conversation, just to open up a dialogue and a discussion. So hopefully it is educational and maybe entertaining as well. And I got my wind beneath my wings. No, you guys are the wind beneath my wings. I've got my fan on because it does get a little stuffy. So let's see. No update from Ellie. Right. No surprise there. So the thing with Gabby Petito is that, and again, this is weird timing. It was either yesterday or even before yesterday that there was news on the Gabby Petito case. Like, really? There has only been that one little tiny bit of news about the grocery store for many months. And now all of a sudden, right at the same time frame that we're expecting information on Kiely or hoping for information on Kiely, we get both an arrest in the really whacked out Delphi case and the situation with Gabby Petito. So that situation is the Laundries have filed a motion to try to not allow the Petito family to ask them in the deposition about what happened, what did they know on August 28th. Allegedly, August 28th is the date of Gabby's death, and I believe that the family is alleging, Gabby's family is alleging that they think that Brian's family knew on day one. So wouldn't surprise me. But anyway, so they're trying to block that ability to ask them a question about it in the depositions. Personally, I don't think that's going to fly, but you never know. And I'd hate to jinx it. So let's just hope for the best, prepare for the worst, right? That's what I always say. Thanks, Pixie Knickers, about the necklace. Yeah, yesterday I had 3 necklaces on, and today I have 3 necklaces on. I think it's a Kiely thing with her triple necklace. So let's see. So yeah, why the Delphi and the Petito case coming up at the exact same time that we are getting not an update on Kiely? So let's see. I got some good ones in here. I got my cute little tiny notebook. I've got my tiny, my medium, my regular, and then my large. So I need an extra large too, right? And maybe something super tiny like a Hello Kitty. Anyway, this one is for my purse or my pocket when I'm out and about. And, if I have a good thought and I don't write it down, it is gone. Okay. Remember that Cal Topo was a part of the search for Kiely early on, like right away. So the California topography search crew that would know everything about the fire cams was there from the outset. So that's just an important thing to keep in mind. Um, and you know, you know how we like to say, "Oh, are you in camp?" Or I don't like to say it, but some people like to say, "Are you in camp accident or camp foul play?" Right? We've mentioned that here. And how about a we don't know camp? I think that's where I would belong, although I'd be the foul play for sure, but also the we don't know. The we don't know foul play, right? But this is an even better one. This is the one I think we all belong in. At least I do. I'll just speak for myself. The people did not do their job camp. Isn't that great? Uh, where did I get that? I think it was in somebody else's show, so I wish I knew. I don't think I came up with that on my own. I think that was a direct quote from somebody's podcast. So if I figure it out, I'll give credit. Let's just say it was Squirrels on Fire. In that 10-hour. I mean, I always like to review my podcasts, but I could not review the 5 hours that I was part of that 10-hour last night. I reviewed a good portion of it. I reviewed the part with me um, calling out Megan like probably 3 times because, I felt kind of bad, but it is what it is. I feel like I stand by my confrontation. She needed to be um, spoken to about what the heck she was up to, in my opinion. And then her story changing, didn't she say that her son is the same age as Sammy, her daughter's a few years older, and that she knew Sammy from like a family camp trip or something? And then she said that she met Sammy once, and then last night her daughter and Sammy are best friends. I mean, I'm not trying to be a bitch. I'm just trying to get the story accurate. If anybody knows, we match. I always wear 3 necklaces. Cool. I like it. Yeah, I think it's really cool. Maybe is why some things being released, like that new footage, etc. Are you talking about the footage of Gabby Petito, Mrs. Kelly? Um, Three's the magic. I'm Team Kiely, period. Yes, exactly. Team Justice for Kiely, the JFK. Let's hope that that's the name of the operation. We'll see what you back Jeff comes up with. I tried to get a membership and it just wasn't working on my computer, so I couldn't figure out what needed to be done to make it happen. So it is $5. It's $4.99, and that's a monthly membership fee. And then he says he's going to have the information about Sammy's background check. Oh my God, when she started crying, I thought, can you be any more theatrical? Pixie Knickers, I thought she was laughing. I was laughing, and I said, are you guys laughing at me? Because I thought I heard people laughing, and it seemed like people should have been laughing at me. I mean, I was in quite the mood, right? I was tired. I was literally laying in bed. I was literally falling asleep, and I really didn't want to fall asleep on the computer, like with people watching me fall asleep. That would be so stupid. So I kept almost just dismissing myself and saying I got to go, but I really wanted to hang in there, and I'm so glad that I did. Yes, I was speaking to the Petito case. Yes, Jazz. JFK is catchy, but it has baggage. I'm just gonna go and tag that. Oh my God, that's funny. What kind of baggage? Can we unpack that baggage? Okay, so there is another camp, truth seeking camp. So that is, I think, something I might have said earlier today. What really bothers me about the camp this, the camp that, the camp accident, the camp foul play, is are we not in the all camp of trying to find the truth? Even if we think it was an accident or we think it was foul play, are we not all here in true crime trying to find the truth? Like, there's not anyone here trying to find the not truth, right? I definitely think there's people here that are trying to gaslight and are trying to take people down the primrose path. And yeah, those people need to be called out. I think that sometimes they show up in our chats, sometimes they're on people's panels, and their packages happen to fall out. Oh my God. And sometimes they have their own channel. So, I just think that we got to be careful. Just like in real life, you just can't trust anybody. Just because somebody is saying something nice in a chat or nice on a panel doesn't mean that they're not full of it and they're just trying to pretend that they're nice. Mrs. Kelly, I know she's standing up for Sammy. Where's her standing up for Kiely? No one in that place cares. It's crazy. Exactly. Yeah. And again, I'm glad that I said what I said, even as tired as I was and as much as my brain was shutting down. I was like, haven't you seen the freaking things she put on TikTok? Like, those are so absurd and they speak volumes. She has no remorse. She is gloating and she's sneering and snickering and snide and really satisfied. Really, you can tell she's got quite a look of just satisfaction. I think she's pretty pleased with herself. I mean, if you're an evil freak and you want to kill somebody and you think you got away with it right in the face of the public, that must be pretty euphoric. I'm not accusing anybody of anything. I'm just saying if I was, right? Okay. So I shared with you guys about the female judge that wrote me the scathing letter in the sexual harassment lawsuit that I was in with my employer. So it is really hard to find a lawyer that feels comfortable suing a court and a judge. But then again, there are lawyers that make their living like that. So you can't just go through the yellow pages and call people, because a lot of people are going to be scared to death and piss their pants and hang up on you. But you got to find the people that's what they do for a living. So, there's all those specialties. Also, that the damage control and the threats that are inferred. So you don't have to make a direct threat to infer, like in that affidavit that retired judge wrote for the May 15th of 2022, the affidavit about Wayne Wu. He speaks to the inferred threat that anybody who is an underling of Sheriff Wu doing an investigation against Sheriff Wu, that obviously there's a threat that this is the person who handles their promotion, their pay raises, everything in their job, their training, their performance evaluations, everything. So even if there's not a direct threat, and even if there's not a threat, good point. Even if there is no threat, even if it's like all cool and chill, right? There is a potential threat, and you've got to be aware of things like that. Nobody needs to come straight out and say, well, you better find the right answer in this investigation or your career's not going to go very well since I am your boss. I mean, that's just kind of obvious. And even if the boss was like so down to earth and fair that they were like, oh, I would never do anything like that, and they honestly wouldn't, there's the possibility. You cannot do that. It's just not right. Conflict of interest, right? I also wanted to say something about when you own your own business, because I've done that a few times, and people think you're making a lot of money when you own your own business, and there might be some days where you are. But in general, all the money that you make has to get sunk back into your business. I mean, not all of it, but it feels like all of it. it's just endless, the amount of money that you can put into the maintenance and the upkeep and the upgrading of your business. So I'm wanting to discuss it for a moment in the context of owning a lodge. Now, this lodge that the Rodney Neiman family lived in was owned by the granddad and maybe the biological dad, and then maybe was going to be left to Kiely at some point. But it's just important to know that even if a company is bringing in 6 and 7 figures, that money couldn't be going out even faster than it's coming in. So anybody who's owned a small business knows exactly what I'm talking about. So just because somebody looks like they're well off because they've got this really cool business, it doesn't mean that they're not behind the 8 ball and late on bills and freaking out and trying to figure out where the money's going to come from. So just something to think about. You also don't get paid time off. You don't get sick days. You don't get benefits. And, you know, it's just a lot. When I was talking about owning my own jewelry designing business, and I was saying how it was my bread and butter, and it was my creativity, and it was my artistic expression, and it was my passion and my hobby, and it was just everything. It was almost everything in my entire life was my jewelry designing business. And I could spend 10 times what I ever spent investing into it to buy more supplies and packaging for when things sell. It's always nice to have cool packaging. That shit's expensive. So, you just have to balance it out and time it well. And, the larger the quantity you buy, the better price point you're going to get. But do you have the ability to invest $1,000 in plastic baggies right now, so that you have a lifetime supply? Or is it better just to buy 100 for, a lot more per baggie, and then not have to take a big bite out of your budget? The cash on the barrelhead is what talks. So, when I spoke about my interest in getting a doctorate degree in international peace strategies and focusing in domestic violence, um, police reform is kind of the buzzword that wasn't coming to mind when I was trying to think of it. And I was like, peace eradicating, or peace officers. I love that. Peace officer eradication of corruption, or police reform, right? That's kind of, like I said, the buzzword. Then there's all that stuff with restorative justice, which is such a great term, but it's a very unrealistic, in my opinion, way to approach law enforcement. But it's the kind of idealistic approach to law enforcement that I would think would be much like the Truckee way. So everybody just gets along, and whoever wronged the other person feels really bad and wants to say, oh, gee, I'm sorry. What can I do to make it up to you? And so, you got to accept their apology and say, well, this is what I would like you to do. And then they'll happily do it, and everybody will live happily ever after, right? Isn't that what happens when somebody wrongs somebody in Mayberry, right? I'm Camp Justice for Kiely. Yes. This is so exciting. I want this to be justified for Miss Kiely. Oh, I like that. That's cool. Um, yes, we really want justice for our Ms. Kiely, don't we? So anybody who hasn't had a chance to look at the 10-hour video from last night, wow. There is a part, I did not write down the timestamps, but it's in the 5 hours that I'm in it. It's towards the end. It's probably after Megan stepped off. So there was like an hour that we continued after Megan turned her thing off. And Squirrels on Fire was showing some photographs that she had in her files that she had found, I think, in a Google search. And they were kind of located in maybe with a search engine, keywords of Truckee, August 4th, 5th, and 6th. And I took some screenshots of these images. I just wanted to share one with you that was um, skeleton skulls on stakes around a fire. And I don't know if these are people that Kiely and or Sammy knew, but what struck me is how this is what kids in Truckee do in the summer nights. They go hang out on that beach and get creepy and get fucked up. Is my impression. So that's just sort of what I gather. And um I wanted to go back to the whole don't kill the messenger here. The whole thing with Upchurch thinking that maybe this stuff was fake. Maybe this stuff was fake. Stick with me. Maybe these kids were doing a fake kidnapping of Kiely, and they were going to do that GoFundMe account. And then that GoFundMe money was going to go to whoever it was going to go to when they found Kiely. And they were so sure that they were going to find Kiely, right? Jagger was so sure. Mags was so sure. They just knew that they themselves or they and a friend or the community was going to find Kiely. And there was a $75,000 bounty for anybody who found Kiely. So it's just interesting. It just kind of hit me today. Like, wow, what if that whole thing was a setup for a GoFundMe account? I'm not saying it was. I'm just saying it's possible. And, people got really bent out of shape when Ryan Upchurch said his Kiely is fake thing. I didn't like it personally, but I thought he was just trying to get a point across that how do we know that anything that's presented to us in the media or on social media isn't just a bunch of gaslighting? How do we know? So I always go back to Upchurch having a lot of great instinct and spidey skills, and also kind of knowing the criminal mentality. Like, he's got the street smarts. I'm not saying he's a criminal or a reformed criminal. It sounds like he probably has hung out with a lot of these folks. And if you don't know folks like that, you don't know the tricks of the trade, like you just, and unless you've seen it in the movies, but really you got to know somebody in real life who's done some gangsta kind of shit. If you're going to try to get away with some gangsta kind of shit, you always need a mentor, right? You can't do anything in this world well without a mentor, in my opinion. Megan says Sammy is texting saying Kiely seemed fine that night. Yes, thank you, Katie Bug. Very astute of you. So at the 3 hour and 1 minute mark, Katie Bug is pointing out that Megan was claiming that she was texting with Sammy while she was on the live. So the panel was asking her to ask Sammy specific questions. She was texting them to Sammy, and then Sammy was answering them. And Megan was presenting them as, well, whatever Sammy says is solid gold and true, even if it contradicts what she said before. It was just like, okay, all right, just take it with a grain of salt. No, Kenny, that's my opinion of her as well, just not all there. I have to say, you called Sammy as a narcissist gangster. Okay. I think I may have called her exactly that. And, that's my opinion, that she's kind of like that for sure, for certain. I don't so much see her as a gangster. I see all of those kids as gangsta wannabes. Big difference. So one thing is they're privileged white kids, right? And when I was describing to you my court case experience of filing a big lawsuit, that's like an easy phrase that I could have used, that describing all of the advantages I had to take on a court case like that. basically you can just sum it up with white privilege, right? I mean, I hate to say it, but I know that I have grown up in white privilege, just middle class white privilege, but white privilege is white privilege, and we don't realize how much we have at our disposal. So, in that situation, that was before that terminology was really a thing, but that was exactly what I was thinking. Is like I've had a lot of opportunities and advantages that a lot of other people don't have to deal with this kind of shit all the time. So, I've got the tools and I've got the support network to handle it. And it was horribly rough at times. Like I've said, it was extremely gratifying. Um, and I'll just leave it at that. I want to stay focused on Kiely, and so sick of Sammy and her lies. Yes. I thought today out loud to myself, I know Mags is not that much of a friend to Sammy. I don't blame her. I just think Mags is just what's the word, has her own mentality. But I heard that Mags is next door neighbors with Sammy. Have you guys heard that? I also heard something today in Harsha's chat that I don't know if it's true. First time I've heard this, that Lindsay bought another house right after Kiely was found. So, um, I don't know. I'll just leave that there. Something we can contemplate. Um, so back to the thing about these parties every night with um, fire and bones and people passed out on the ground. I mean, the photographs that Squirrels on Fire was showing were very telling, and it absolutely looked like it could be these people and their friends. And I took screenshots to try to get closer up looking at the faces, because there might be a couple faces in there that are recognizable. I'm not sure. Um, but I wanted to ask everybody about that quote that Xana May said when she's getting her kayak down to the water with her cute little puppy dog, Hazmat, and there's that weird arrow in the sand. And I think that's where she says, there she is. And it's like looking right out in the direction of where Kiely's car would be. Um, how weird that she said that. I mean, she's supposedly alone and with her dog and making a videotape. Why would she say that? Was there some need to say that, or was that a brain leak? I mean, it's just odd. I think all of us have noticed it and talked about it many times over in different chats and panels and discussions. But why? Why would she be talking to herself, thinking out loud, there she is? I just don't get it. Unless she's trying to tell the people, maybe somebody was listening to her live while she was doing it. I don't know. I don't know. It didn't seem like she was like mumbling that much to herself, was she? She wasn't saying anything other than that in my recollection. Um, so let's see. Yeah, the whole thing with Delphi, oh my God, what a mess. I mean, I hope that that nightmare is over for those people, but it's so bizarre how many people they've arrested over the years, and the fact that they've had that videotape this whole time, the fact that they've had audio tape this whole time, the fact that he was arrested like Thursday or Friday last week, and the information was released Friday, and then the big press conference yesterday, and then the lack of press conference for Kiely. I just can't help but be suspicious of that kind of orchestrated, you know, thought out, planned propaganda. That's the word I'm looking for. So I want to read some of your quotes up here, some of your chat. I don't believe she was alone, right? Something off with her as well. Thanking you kindly. Remember, they have no photos. They are real. I call that BS. Right. No photos of the party. Yeah, right. Exactly. Crime Watch with Kenny. It was where the sign is, and she pointed to the cam where the dog may have been buried. And what the heck is up with that dog burial? I mean, it's probably illegal. I'm pretty sure it is illegal to bury an animal on a national park property. Not saying that I've ever done it. We did that with our cat in San Francisco up by Stinson Beach or Point Reyes Station, actually. And yeah, we knew we weren't supposed to, but we just wanted our poor little kitty to be out in the beautiful wilderness forever and ever. So I'm not saying like I'm all prim and proper, like I would never break the rules like that, but a dog, and that's kind of more of an open area. Like where we did it in the woods, there was nobody that was going to see us or care. Um, yeah, that's really strange. And then the fact that law enforcement called Kiely's family to say, oh, we have something here, be on the edge of your seat. Oh, dog. Really? You did not do that to the family. I can't imagine having a chain yanked like that. To me, it's just so weird. How could you mistake a dog for a human? And why would you call the family unless you know it's a thing? Because, of course, you can find dead animals out there. Come on. It's a freaking nature preserve. There's going to be tons of dead animals. Oh, no. It's all clean and pristine, right? It was where the sign is, and she pointed to the cam to where the dog may have been buried, right? No, she said there she is after she had kayaked over to the campground area and walked out to an area that had caution tape and signs and pointed somewhere and said, there she is. Thank you. Right. Okay. I was getting my wires crossed. I'm uncrossing them as I read that. Thanks, Dana. Um, Hi, Katie Bug. How are you? Is it your birthday, GOP? Happy birthday. Zanime bugs me. What is her play in this and those bruises? Right. I mean, she's a fixer, right? I mean, isn't that what most of us have thought? A fixer, a gaslighter, a distraction. She's a good distraction. Um, and it seems very strange that Kylie's cremation happened the day after her death certificate was issued. I agree. I didn't. That's cute. Typo. I don't think it was possible to book a cremation so quickly, or am I missing something? Well, my thought is that the law enforcement wanted it done like yesterday, right? They couldn't get it done fast enough. And so that's why it was accelerated like that. Very, very strange, unusual. It seems illegal. Um, what if Megan? Wait. Where did I go? I think I just missed a few. Let's see. Okay, it's 8:02. It's November 1st, Tuesday. And yeah, I think I just jumped a whole bunch. Yeah, okay, there we go. Mrs. Kiely, it was my little baby girl's first birthday. Oh, congratulations, Mama. Um, doesn't that kind of go back to the parents? I wouldn't let my children go to that dangerous bridge. Oh my goodness. That was my question, is who dropped them off there? They had the day off. It was the day before Valentine's Day. They didn't have school. It was a nice warm day. Who in the world is going to drop off a 13 and a 14-year-old out at an abandoned bridge like that? Come on. So somebody answered my question and said that it was one of their sisters, but I just think it's really odd. I still want to know who supposedly drove Sammy home, and also the thing she was saying, Megan related last night. Oh my God, I was screaming. They were charging vapes, grabbing more Trulies. Right. That was the first time I heard of the charging vapes. Like, okay, it's been how many months? Like 3, and now you got a new story? Cool. Okay, let's just listen and Pretend that you're always telling the truth every time you change it. So, John Courtney says, some people say you bury a dog above a body to throw people off. Oh, wow, Mr. Courtney. Thank you for that hot tip. See, like I said, you got to be a gangsta. You got to know a gangsta to know these things. I would never know that, but that makes perfect sense. It's so easy, right? I say sociopath. Tag John Courtney. He's on to something. I think so. Absolutely. So yeah, maybe that was why they contacted the family, because they're like, oh crap, here is a dog. I wonder if there's something below it. Okay, that's really good information. Thanks, you guys. Can you remember the strange post supposedly made by Kiely? I don't think it's far from the truth. Maybe someone posted it who knew what happened. Um, I'm wondering if you're thinking of the post. There was a post, a strange one, that was addressing Jagger maybe harming Kiely, and something about her necklace and a white purse, and that he said that she loved him, but he he loved her, but she made him do this, or something like that. I've got a screenshot of it. As you guys can tell, I'm really tired. I'm at 35 minutes. My voice, my eyes, I gotta wrap this one up. So let's see. I'm adding to my prior comment, could not fit. Interesting, Sammy said vapes, and truly she never expected we'd see those in her car. Oh, wait, I missed this one. Hey, Justice, you are getting famous. Can you make a schedule for your lives? Oh, that's so sweet. I can definitely make a schedule for my lives, and I let me be loose with it, especially right now, because I'm just kind of, getting my bearings. Like tomorrow, I'll try to do one at around 8, and then let's say around 1. Okay. I'll try to just leave it at that, try to get back to that regular routine. I really like doing a morning one and an afternoon one, even if I do shorter, rather than doing all just like one longer one. I want to try to do them shorter. So let me read a few more of these and then wrap up for tonight. Let's see. Oh, I don't want to miss all these good ones. Where was I? I'm missing a whole bunch of good ones. Let's see. Let's see. Oh my goodness. Okay. I'm not wrapping up too quick because wow, I'm missing a whole bunch. I mean, this is all just in the last 5 minutes. You guys, it's not your fault, it's mine because I'm so tired. Okay. Oh, and see, and when I tap it, that like totally screws it up. Okay, and I just tapped it accidentally. I'm adding to my prior comment. Okay. What if Megan drove Sammy home and that's why she's taking up for Sammy? Although I think Sammy drove Sammy home. Replace pinned message. Okay, I don't know what one was pinned. These police people don't care to do their jobs. Oh, Miss Justice, Truckee is drinking Ms. Kiely. Yeah, that was a point from the live last night, is that the water that Kiely was in, Squirrels on Fire did a bunch of research, and that water was going into the drinking water system. So the community was literally drinking the water that Kiely was in. And Megan was really defensive, trying to explain how it's all processed, so nobody's drinking Kiely. It's like, girl, you're missing the fucking point. Oh my God. Um, let's see. I'm sorry that my eyesight is kind of messing with me with my glasses and my tiredness and the computer and the lights and all that good stuff. Um, when will law enforcement release more info on Kiely? My guess is never o'clock, but um, we'll see. I'm hopefully wrong about that. These police people don't care enough to do their jobs. Oh, Miss Justice, because Truckee is drinking Ms. Kiely. I remember that. Right. I don't know if you were in that watching that panel last night, Claudia, if that's what you're referring to, or if you're referring to something else. Did you see the video where Jagger threw Kiely into the water and she was crying? I didn't see one where he threw her into the water. I saw the one where he pretended he was going to throw her in the water twice. And then she said, I'm going to kick you in the dick with her big red platform shoes. I actually took screenshots of her kicking him in the crotch and used them for my thumbnails a couple weeks ago. So I don't know if that's the one you're referring to or a different one, but I do think it's super interesting that in addition to that creepy video, the video of the two of them in pink light horsing around on the bed, he gets her into a chokehold. It's like a 4-second video, and he's like choking her out. It's like, oh, that's cute. No. So I don't know if you're talking about something else, James LaCroix, the video where Jagger actually throws Kiely into the water and she's crying. I would like to see that if you have it and you wouldn't mind emailing it to me at justicetooz@gmail.com. I sent a chat to you over on Harsh. I didn't realize you had left his chat. Oh, thank you for sending me a chat. And I was going to say, I was going to address Harsh and say I'm going to go do my thing, but I didn't want to distract him. I don't really have a rapport with him, and I sure would like to. And I certainly wasn't going to say, hey, I'm going to go do my own thing so that, I wouldn't want to distract any of his viewers because I would imagine we have some in common. And so anyway, I just quietly ducked out so I could get this done and go to sleep so I can see my people, connect up with you guys. So Claudia, I think, is responding to the video of Jagger throwing Kiely into the water. And she says he did. No way. Did Sammy drive herself because she was too keen on making out she was a passenger? Right. Absolutely. It's just that kind of over detail is a major red flag that somebody is not being truthful. So Sister did running allegedly has a really big truck. Not sure where Zanime was on the water position wise in relation to Kiely's SUV, but Zanime's dog sure did catch a scent that Zanime commented about. Oh, really? I'd have to go back and rewatch that. That's interesting. I believe Sammy was, I think that's driving. Yeah, I do too. I think Sammy drove herself because she apparently had her own car. She was in a car that looked like it was probably hers when she was doing the infamous interview with Tony Dodge. And just when she said, I'm in the passenger seat, she did another brain leak. The worst thing with the buried dog and on the trail of blood was around the buried dog areas. A tracking app was around that search area, blood trail. Apparently it was in that area. Yeah. And there's a lot of weird stuff with like how they had a huge part of the forest like sectioned off and nobody was allowed to go there, but everybody was allowed to like run around at the beach and on the water and stuff. I don't know. It's 5 hours and 1 minute, not a word, but we need to make the fight between Sam, Kiely, and see how well Megan navigate Sam through that. Yeah. Are you talking about on the one from last night, Mrs. G, or are you talking about something totally different? It's at 5:01. So I'm thinking maybe you're talking about the 5 hour mark, but I could be totally off. That might be something else. Oh, that video is not Kiely. Renee Matthews says, I'd be very curious what the video, if Renee Matthews, if you have it and want to email it to me, again, justicetooz@gmail.com. James, that video was of a different couple and was being used as an example of Jagger's tendencies. Okay, good to know. Thank you for pointing that out. The fight must be G. I don't know what that means. Just watch true crime enough. I don't see a problem with the girls being allowed to walk on the bridge. Obviously, it was a common thing to do, so why would it be dangerous? Well, they got murdered. I mean, not to be a wise ass, but also, I mean, you could fall off that bridge too. But, I just think I'm always thinking about safety. And I think, two young women alone in a wooded area is just not a good idea to me at all. I would never allow it. Sammy very likely drove herself. I was just wondering why Megan won't stop defending Sammy. Right. I think that's what she's I don't know, maybe she's getting paid. I think that's what she's put up to. I wanted to ask her last night if she did house cleaning for the Smiths, but I didn't. Mostly just because my brain was melting. Because I wanted to, and I probably could have asked it without being offensive at all. Crime with Kenny, yeah, it makes sense. She had a car of her own, but don't know if she went in it. Who killed? Oh, it just flew. What happened? I hate it when that happens. Dang, I gotta just wrap this up. I'm just not tracking it so well. Oh my goodness. It just jumped. Okay. So you guys have so many good comments. I apologize that I'm doing such a crappy job of keeping up. There I wanted to get that one that I was starting to read. It seemed like a really good one. Uh who killed the dog? Okay. Didn't Megan know the people who buried the dog too? Did she? Well, it's a small town. So, I mean, honestly, I'm not being like facetious. Maybe she just knew the people that buried the dog too. um, let's see. 4 hours later in UK. Would it be okay for me to share the link for those Justice for Kylie wristbands I've made for us all? Absolutely. Yes. Go ahead and share that link. Not a problem at all. It's if you want to share it here in the chat or in the comment section later, either one or both is absolutely fine. Thanks for asking. It's very hard to talk, run a live, and read the comments. It's okay if you don't see most of them. I know I'm just so tired and kind of a little loopy. I wouldn't say delirious that, I'm just not as sharp as I have been. And I was like so excited this morning. I was so sharp. I was so like on my game, and I just thought I could do a little short one right now and be maybe almost as sharp and not just nowhere close. But it's good to be able to laugh at yourself, right? I mean, it's all good. So thanks for your patience, you guys. What happened to the press conference today? I don't know. Let's all call Nevada County tomorrow and ask them what happened to the press conference. Can you send me a link? Let's email them. Let's just bombard them. Like, did it get rescheduled? We're just trying to figure out what's going on. Thank you that I can time it better. There's a lot of time zones in the States and only one in UK. Oh, that's good to know that there's only one. You guys are so lucky. The thing I hate the most is the daylight savings, which we're coming up to probably in just about 5 days. Different couple, please go back and watch both videos. Candace did again. She explained it how people were confusing the two. The guy is coming out of the water is different skin tone. Thanks for clarifying that, you guys. Megan defends Sammy because she's afraid of Sammy's family. I think that's pretty accurate, guy. I'm going to pin that. Replace pinned message. Let me see how many behind I am. It looks like I'm a good number behind. Look at you guys just commenting away. I'm going to jump all the way to the bottom and read a couple back and then wrap it up if that's good for you guys. Let's see. When the daylight savings time changed, this will be the last time it's going to stay clock back. Oh, really? They're going to stop doing it? I haven't heard that. I think they should. I mean, it's got its advantages, but it's just so freaking confusing. And especially in Ohio, because Indiana doesn't do it. So half of the year they're on our time zone and half the year they're not. It gets really funky. I think there's a couple other states like that too. Anyway, we invented time in the UK. I like that. It was a mistake. I don't know if you're talking about the thing. Wasn't it Nixon that started with the daylight savings time to show the farmers that he appreciated them because it was looking so apparent that he didn't. Can we see that underwater video unblurred anywhere? Good question, Claudia. I had heard that somebody put it on the interwebs unblurred, but I haven't come across it. And I've looked. I've looked. So if you find something and want to email it to me or come back into a chat and put a link, that would be great. Or if anybody else knows of anything. Sammy Smith's parents need to be analyzed seriously. And Heavenly Cloud says, I love your channel. I enjoy your videos so much. That's really nice. Thank you. In 1900, we invented the toilet seat. In 1901, we invented the hole in it. Oh my God, Kenny, you are hilarious. That's great. That's really funny. Okay, I'm going to read this one last crime and crochet. The Meridian line runs through Greenwich in London. It's the international date line, which is why all times are plus minus that. Cool. All right, you guys, we are at 50 minutes. How did that happen? Yeah. The time just flies when you're having fun, huh? So I'm going to hit the hay, hopefully get a solid night's sleep. See you guys bright and early. Hopefully I'll be all with it. And thank you so much. Thank you for all your support, for all your great comments. And I apologize that I'm missing so many of them. Fortunately, we can always rewatch the chat when we're rewatching the video, and I do always rewatch my videos, so I do get to read what's there, and I have to because there's so much great stuff that I would miss otherwise. So I want you guys to know that if I didn't read your comment out loud, I will see it. I definitely will see it. So thanks again. You guys have a great night. Drink your water, eat your fruit and your veggies and your protein, and take care of yourself. Stretch, relax, get some exercise, be nice, and don't allow anybody to treat you poorly at all, ever. Period. The end. Thank you. See you tomorrow.